Alright, we're getting back on these thunderheads here. I need to continue with the valve job on these things. So this here is the head I took the guides out of. This one over here. We still have the valve guides in it for mock-up purposes. So I'm going to have to make the valve guides. I had the custom valves made here. Manley custom made these valves for me out of sever-duty material. So that's the best material they got. This is the other pair. These are the springs and keepers and everything here. So what I got to do is I got to take these guides here and cut them down. Cut the sportster guides right here to make them look like these. So basically they have a smaller OD and a little bit difference on height up here, which I'm not going to worry about right now. And then we have to cut the collar of the guide down so that this lower collar here will go over the shoulder, I should say, on this guide. That goes over the top of that. So I have to go ahead and cut that down so I'll be able to put this all together. So I was hoping that the guides would have the same OD as a Harley, but no, they had to be different. So now I'm going to have to cut these down. And I don't know what size I need because you don't know until you go to beat them in. And of course, if it's too loose, you get a jump guide. If it's too heavy, then you hog the hole out. So basically, I'm going to make them the same size as the stock guide there, more or less, and then just give it like an extra half a thou press and see what happens. So anyway, that's where I'm at right now. So in order to turn the guides down, I'm using my valve guide pilot out of my old quick way grinding equipment. It's really good for this application. This is a tapered pilot. You push the guide onto here, that will hold it, and then you have centers in both ends of this. You can turn it between centers or just hold this side with the chuck jaws and turn the center off this side. So that'll hold it nice and true or concentric off the inside of the guide hole, which is what we want. So these are the exhaust. I'm working on the intake right now, so I'm going to go over the lathe right now. Okay, the first thing I do, I got to beat the guide here onto our pilot. So this is our 5/16 pilot. So I just turn the jaws down until the guide will just slip in the hole. And we just lightly tap this in with a plastic hammer. So now the pilot's jammed in the guide, so it's pretty much one piece now. Go ahead and hold this over here in the jaws. Go ahead and center this up on the other side. Get this out of the way. Alright, let me see how close we are. Look pretty darn close, so I'm going to go get my indicator out and we'll take a look at that. Alright, I got my indicator here on the taper here where the pilot is, and see that a little bit. Yeah, get it like this might help. So you can see how it's moving just a little bit. About a thousandth. And over here, I got it centered up pretty good over on this side where I work on the chuck a little bit. You can see how it's moving about a quarter of a thou with that. So now what I got to do is I got to work on my center back here to get this centered up. Right here. Get this number down. So what we're going to do is, back here in the back of your tailstock, you have adjustments over here, down over here. I'm going to play around with these a little bit until I get this zeroed out, and then that should get my valve guide be dead center when I go to cut it. So you want to make them as close as you can, so you beat them into the head, they'll be very accurate when you're done. So I'm going to go play with that for a few minutes because it takes a while, and then we'll come back and show you what I got. Okay, we're getting close to our final size. So we're taking a couple more thou paths here. We've got about 4.5 to go, I think, roughly. Just taking light cuts, real slow, trying to get a decent finish. I think I'll throw my external hone on here to get the little better finish on it. Okay, so I don't know if you can read that, but we're just under the 0 there, right on 0 there, and just under 0 there. So it cuts pretty even for cast iron. Now what we're trying to get is, this is down here at 22 or so. It's kind of uneven. So 22, 22.25 is the number we're at, and we're at 0 right now, to 1/4 under. So need to take off roughly 2 more thou. I want to leave some for honing, so I'm not sure how much honing will take off. So I'm going to give it another thou or so, see what happens. Ideally, we take about 1.5 thou off. See how close I get here. Okay. Cut off basically 1 or so. Okay, we're 23.5. I'd like to be around 22.5 to 3/4. So I got about 3/4 of a thou to take off. So I'm going to leave the cutting done. So I'm going to go ahead and put my external hone on there and see what that does. Oh, I do need to turn that diameter down up here on the shoulder. Let's see. Didn't bring the collar with me, but the guide's at 625 and it's fairly loose, so anywhere from 625 to 630 we should be all right. We're at 750 right now. It's got an 1/8 inch to take off. Cut this down like this, light cuts. If you cut too much, the guide will dig in, and the cutter will dig in, stop the guide, and spit on the manual, then you're screwed. I'm making 10 thou passes here. Alright. Just in case this thing moves, I'm going to go ahead and mark the shaft and the guide so I can put them back in the same spot. Just in case they move. That's how much I cut now. So we're about 685 right now. About halfway there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I'll get my external hone and we'll see what that looks like when I get that on there. Okay, we'll go ahead and hone this valve guide here, the outside of it. Smooth up the surface there, right in here. So we'll get that a little bit smoother. So I got my external hone right here. Oop. There we go. So this is a new one I got, so I haven't used it yet. So we'll see what it looks like here, how it works. I reset it up for the size I need. So I'll go ahead and see how this works. Makes it look a lot better. Knocked off all those high spots. So there's what that looks like. So damn camera to focus. Alright, so it looks a little bit smoother there now. Go ahead and measure it, see what size we are. Okay, we're one thou up there. So it's 23. So I'll go ahead and give it a little bit more honing. I can take another half a thou off of that without hurting anything, I think. Just make it a little bit smoother. Alright. Okay, so we're a little bit over half a thou there, to 3/4 of a thou at the very tip bigger. Alright, so this is going to be about half to 3/4 of a thou bigger than the stock bronze guide right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out of here and then go try putting the head and see what happens. Okay, we're back over here on the head. So here's that guide. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the head and see what it feels like. Make sure you put it on the right spot. It's an intake. A little bit of press fit lube on here so it'll go in easier. Okay, it went in pretty good. That was the exhaust fit, nice and tight, so for an intake that's not really good. So if I do the same thing on the exhaust, it'll be the same fit hopefully. So this was about a half to 3/4 of a thou oversized guide basically. And so now it's in there like it's supposed to be. So all I can do is make sure everything fits on this other side when I get all installed and figure out the valve lift and everything. Right now the guide is taller than stock, which is good, gives you more support on the valve stem. So it should live longer as long as you got clearance for it. So I measured stuff before, it should be pretty good. I think we'll be alright with a seal on top of it the way it is, but we'll see. So for now that's what it is. Now I gotta go make another intake guide, put that one in, and I gotta make 2 exhaust guides. So it'll be the same process, but just different guides. So I'll go ahead and show you when I'm getting it all done. Okay, this is the second intake guide. So this one here looks pretty nice. Now this one's actually 2 thou smaller than the other one because this head's different. So these heads aren't made real even, I guess. They made whatever they had to make it work, I guess. Quality control is not what it used to be in the old days. Alright, so let's see how tight this one goes in. A bit tighter than the other one, but pretty good. So I'm good with that. If the exhaust going that good, we'd be good. So that's the second intake. Get where you can see it in there. So, fits down in the hole just like the other one did. So 2 down, 2 to go. Okay, just last exhaust guide. Already did the other one. This one here is the worst one. When this guide came out, you can see how it tore aluminum out as it came out and had a lot of carbon around it. It's very out of round and uneven. So I pretty much guessed on what I needed. So this here is the guide. This is the biggest one yet. So see how it goes in. It should either go in pretty darn tight or just tight. Definitely should not be loose. So we'll find out. Went in pretty tight. That's good. So now I got all the guides in. So now I go ahead and hone the guides out for the valves. So I gotta check all these out, and looks like they made all the back cuts like I want them done. So we'll check them, see how square they are in the valve grinder, and get them ready to hone the guides to fit. So the valve guides are made at this point. Now it's time to just do the fitting. So we'll get back to that in a little while.